The night he was stood up felt colder than the snow falling outside, colder than any winter Daniel Carter had ever known. The Christmas Eve party lights glowed warmly through the tall glass windows of the hotel ballroom, but Daniel stood alone near the entrance, holding a small, neatly wrapped gift meant for someone who never came. His worn coat smelled faintly of laundry detergent and cold air, and his phone screen stayed dark no matter how many times he checked it. Around him, laughter floated, couples danced, and joy moved freely, yet he felt invisible, like a forgotten ornament boxed away after the holidays. He was a single dad who had taken a risk, who had believed that maybe, just maybe, this night would be different. Instead, it began with quiet humiliation and a heart heavy with memories of promises broken long before this night ever arrived. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us we are never truly alone, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Daniel had not planned to be here. His babysitter had cancelled twice before finally agreeing, and his 7-year-old daughter Lily had hugged him tightly before bedtime, telling him to smile even if he felt tired. He came to the party because his company encouraged attendance, because being invisible at work had already cost him too many opportunities, and because deep down he wanted to believe life could still surprise him. The woman who invited him had sounded sincere, warm, almost excited, but as the minutes passed and the orchestra played cheerful carols, reality settled in. He was alone, again. Memories surfaced of his late wife's laughter, of hospital hallways, of learning how to braid Lily's hair with shaking hands. He stayed because leaving would feel like admitting defeat, and Daniel Carter had learned long ago how to endure discomfort quietly. That was when he noticed her. Amelia Rosewood, his boss, stood near the staircase in a stunning red dress that caught the light like embers in a fire. She was known throughout the company as composed, powerful, and unreachable, a woman who commanded boardrooms without raising her voice. Yet tonight something was different. Her smile looked strained, her posture tight, and her eyes kept scanning the room as if searching for something she was afraid not to find. Daniel would have looked away, but their eyes met, and in that instant, something unspoken passed between them. It was not romance, not yet, but recognition. Two people surrounded by celebration while carrying quiet burdens no one else could see. As Daniel shifted uncomfortably, preparing to leave, Amelia moved closer, her expression unreadable but urgent. She leaned in slightly, her presence commanding yet vulnerable, and whispered something that would alter the course of both their lives. She needed a fake husband. The words felt unreal, almost absurd, yet the desperation behind them was unmistakable. Daniel learned quickly that Amelia's family was arriving unexpectedly, traditional and unforgiving, and her carefully built image was about to shatter. A successful CEO without a partner was seen not as independent, but as incomplete in their world. She needed someone trustworthy, someone kind, someone invisible enough to not attract scandal. For reasons Daniel did not yet understand, she had chosen him. Agreeing felt reckless, but saying no felt like abandoning someone standing on the same edge he knew too well. Within minutes, Daniel found himself stepping into a role he never imagined, introducing himself as Amelia's husband with a calm he did not feel. The room seemed to shift around them, whispers replaced by curious smiles, and suddenly Daniel was no longer invisible. He watched Amelia's shoulders relax slightly, her breath steady, and realized how heavy her loneliness must have been to ask a stranger for such a favor. That night unfolded like a carefully choreographed scene, filled with polite laughter, shared glances, and an unspoken agreement to protect each other's fragile truths. Over the following days, what began as a temporary arrangement grew into something unexpectedly real. Amelia visited Daniel's modest home, meeting Lily, who greeted her with cautious curiosity and a child's remarkable intuition. Lily sensed warmth where adults saw complication. She liked how Amelia listened, how she knelt to Lily's level, how she never pretended to know everything. Daniel watched these moments with a heart both hopeful and afraid. He had learned the cost of loving deeply, yet here was a woman slowly stepping into their world without trying to replace anything, simply adding light where there had been shadow. Challenges surfaced quietly but relentlessly. Amelia struggled with vulnerability, years of self-reliance making emotional honesty feel like weakness. Daniel battled guilt, questioning whether this arrangement was fair to his daughter or to his own grieving heart. Work pressures mounted, gossip stirred, and the line between pretending and truth blurred with every shared meal and late-night conversation. Yet through it all, they found comfort in the ordinary moments, in silence that did not demand explanation, in understanding that did not require perfection. As Christmas approached again, the air felt different. Daniel no longer dreaded invitations, and Amelia no longer feared empty rooms. They had not planned to fall for each other, but love rarely asks permission. It arrives quietly, through trust, patience, and shared scars. The night Amelia finally admitted she no longer wanted to pretend, Daniel felt something inside him heal, not replace, but heal. He realized that love after loss was not betrayal, but bravery. Just before the story reaches its ending, take a moment and comment below one word that this journey made you feel. Sometimes a single word carries more truth than 1,000 explanations. On Christmas Eve, 1 year after the night Daniel was stood up, the three of them stood together watching snow fall outside their window. There were no grand parties, no expectations, only warmth, laughter, and the quiet certainty that family is not defined by perfection, but by choice. Daniel understood then that being invisible had never meant being unworthy. It simply meant his story was waiting for the right moment to be seen. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can change destinies and second chances are real, please like, share, and engage with this video. Your support helps these stories reach those who need them most, and sometimes, that someone is closer than we think.